Alright guys, welcome back to On Stand Videos. My name's Case. I appreciate y'all being here. Before we get started today, I want to bring a couple things up to you guys. On Stand Videos is now sponsored by MFK Game Calls. They are the baddest aftermarket sound library for, predator hunting in general. If y'all have watched my videos, you've heard them. Female Invitation Howl's an old one, but a good one. I've killed a lot of coyotes over that sound. I'd start a lot of stands with an invitation howl. MFK is now sponsoring On Stand Videos. We're very grateful to be working with them. Go check out their stuff. Go check out their website. You can look at the sound. Made for killing game calls. Check them out and let me know what you think. I want to let y'all know, as well as becoming a subscriber, you can actually now join On Stand Videos as a member. It's another button next to the subscribe button on YouTube. You all can now get badges next to your name. I'm working on the longer that you're a member, the cooler your badge gets next to your name. Just a neat thing to keep you all incorporated in the channel. It means a lot to me that y'all are even here. So, hey, if you want to become a member of On Stand, now you can do so. This video is not a how-to video. I'm still learning every day I go out into the woods. This video is a things I've learned in the 2021 and 2022 calling season. First thing I want to start off with is a taller chair. I spent the first 3 years of predator hunting out of this chair right here. Great chair. It's easy to relax in and easy to get shouldered, but this taller chair has allowed me to now see just a little bit farther. I'm up above what I'm hunting. Generally, you want to sit higher in the field anyway to get that vantage point, but now I'm even, if there's 8-12 inches of grass, I'm still up above that looking down. Also, when I'm running a camera, I've got my tripod generally set up to my right where I can maneuver the camera as well as get on my gun. Even if I wasn't filming, now on, I'm hunting out of this chair right here. I'm sitting, I can get my gun shouldered, get my hands on it, and actually get a good feel. So I'm telling you, if you hunt out of one of these, there's nothing wrong with it. Try a chair like this. I think you'll like it. I think it can change the way you're hunting. All right, number two, something that I struggle with, and it's staying alert. A lot of coyote hunters get complacent on stand. And what I mean by that is, you're sitting around, you've made 2 dry stands, and you're thinking about getting in that warm truck or going and getting a biscuit or just even going to the next stand. And that's when something can happen. It wasn't just too long ago, I was slouched back in my chair, sitting down, and Tanner was almost asleep on the camera. And what happened? A male coyote busted out into like 25 minutes into a breeding sequence. It can happen at any point. You have to be paying attention, watching the field, scanning, assuming that a coyote is about to bust out at any moment. If you do that, your kills will go up. Call setup is a thing that everybody needs to know the basics of. A coyote is going to come in with the wind in his favor 99 out of 100 times. So when you set that call, be thinking about where you think the coyotes are located and how they're going to work that call. And you always want to be able to see that downwind side of the call. If you start hunting the wind, your success will triple. If you're going out there hunting any stand at any point without checking the wind, you're wasting your time. Get on the apps, check the weather channel, look and see which way that wind's blowing and set up accordingly. And the wind is just as important walking in. If you walk through your field and your wind's blowing, even if you're going to set up with the wind in your favor, if your wind is blowing down in the woods, you could have just wind bumped all of the coyotes out of the property. So make sure y'all are paying attention to the wind with your access and your call setup. This number 4 is I could get crucified for. I'm not afraid of volume on the call. Now, I generally start out mid-range in that 20, and I know a lot of guys say never to hit 40. I would say most of the coyotes I killed this winter, the call was on 40. I blare that call. I scream it out there. Now, like I said, I start off quiet, but I'm not afraid of volume. If you're not having a lot of luck, don't be afraid to turn that thing up and reach out there. Fox Pro has a 40-stage volume. Like I said, I'm not afraid of volume. Always start off, in that 15 to 25 range. Give it a little bit. That way, if you do have a coyote that you set up on within 100 yards, you know what you have going on. Say you play 5 minutes of rabbit on 15, nothing happens. Amp that volume up. Get it up there to 40. Have that into that rabbit, in the 30s at least. All my howls, I run every howl on 40. I can't remember a time that I've ever ran a howl less than the max volume. Like I said, not saying that's the way you should do it. That's the way I do it, and it's worked in the past. Another thing I want to talk about is switching up the rabbit. You know, around Christmas, everybody's getting a Fox Pro, and you know, they come loaded with great sounds. You know, it may come loaded with KG Cottontail, but every coyote in your area may have heard that. So don't be afraid to switch up the rabbit. Don't be afraid to get back to the Lightning Jacks, the Eastern Cottontails. Mrs. McCottontail is my second favorite sound from Fox Pro ever. Don't be afraid to put that sound out there. You don't have to play the same exact rabbit every time. If you go to a farm and say week 1 you kill a coyote off KG Cottontail, well, say you don't have a lot of properties and 3 weeks later you go back, throw a little bit of Eastern Cottontail. Don't be afraid to start off with something, you know, a little more shallow too. Like try like a baby Cottontail. Start off 5 minutes of baby Cottontail 2. And if nothing shows, move into a KG or a Mrs. McCottontail, Eastern Cottontail, Lightning Jack, something like that. You know, don't be afraid to switch up that rabbit. You don't have to play the same one every time. Be fresh on their ears, and it'll kill a lot of coyotes for you. I do believe that. Here's one that a couple of guys have given me advice on, and it's golden. It's something I fall short on because I'm trying to self-film and I'm trying to run the gun at the same time, but is muting your call. So on one of my last videos, I killed a color-faced coyote. Well, the 2 coyotes that came in before were hard charging and were committed to that call. But if I would have reached down, hit my mute button, I believe they would have checked up, you know, had a shot at that one and then maybe got a double, because I killed that color phase as it was spinning. It was ready to go. If I was a second and a half later, that coyote was gone and there I'd have been set empty-handed. So I truly believe if I would have muted my call as soon as I saw those coyotes before I went to swing the camera, I probably would have had a better chance at doubling up or getting them to at least check up. All right, here's one I'm a firm believer on. If you coyote hunt a lot, you need to know your sounds. For instance, every sound has its own little melody, and anybody that coyote hunts a lot, you know, they have them in their head. Know your sounds and know when to pause the call. To me, there's nothing worse than when I accidentally hit that mute button right when a howl starts, and it just doesn't sound, it takes away from the realism. I'm not saying it's going to get you busted, but being realistic is the whole entire reason that anyone has success. The more realistic you are in your stand, the better chance you have at calling up a coyote. An obvious one, guys, is to know your rifle. I know that my rifle, where it's zeroed in at 300 yards, which is typically the longest shot I'm going to have, at 300 yards, I know that I have around 7 to 8 inches of drop. So if a coyote's facing me sitting down, if I put it on the crest of his head, I know if I have 7-inch drop, I'm going to hit within a kill range. So know your rifle, get out there and shoot. Hey, I'm not the best marksman. I miss a lot. Missing is part of it. It happens. But know your equipment, know your rifle, know what it does, you know, that 100, 200, 300. And, you know, like here in Kentucky, that's about what I get as a 300-yard shot max. So know your rifle. That'll also help you kill more coyotes, because if you call it up with all these other things and you don't kill it, then what's the point? All right, guys, just finally, just knowing that you made a good stand, making a good stand counts. A lot of people want to get out there and hunt, may not have a lot of properties, and they have the wrong wind or the weather's bad. Just make a solid stand. If it's a solid stand, you know you're going to have a good chance at calling up a coyote. There's coyotes everywhere. There's not a city in the United States that doesn't have coyotes. So you know you're going to have coyotes. Just make sure you make a solid stand. Don't be skylining yourself when you're walking in. Walk the fence rows. Don't be wind bumping. Set your call up right. Start off with some quiet volume. Don't be afraid to ramp it up. And I have a feeling y'all will kill more coyotes. Alright, guys, for now, that's all I've got. I'm no professional. I do this for, you know, I get out for fun. Love making videos for y'all. So these aren't just tips that are must-haves. These are just things that I've picked up. Guys that have been doing it for 10, 15 years, they've shot me messages on Facebook saying, hey, you could have done this, or hey, you could have done that to better my odds. And that's what I want to do to you all. So feel free, drop a comment, drop a like. Feel free to shoot me a message on Facebook. You can find us on Facebook at OnStand Videos, Instagram OnStand Videos, of course here on YouTube OnStand Videos. And like I said, if y'all are interested in this member thing, just go ahead and join up. I think it could be really fun. We can have a tight-knit community. That's what I'm here to do. I want to build the OnStand community. I love you guys. Y'all have been nothing but good to me. I'm gonna keep grinding. I'm working on hats, working on giveaways, shirts, all that. We're gonna make this thing happen. We're gonna have a cool community. So, like I said, I appreciate you guys. Like the video, share us with a friend, and always make sure you sub to the channel. I'll see you on the next one.